Welcome back, my Rocket League gamers. Coach Aero here, and we're back with another Rocket League tutorial here. And in this one, we are going to be covering the concept of shadow defense, and more importantly, when you should shadow. You will find situations where you might shadow in 3v3s, but usually the best option there is to challenge as quick as possible most of the time. So when we turn to 1v1s and 2v2s, shadowing is a much bigger part of the game. So keep that in mind after watching this video. Shadow defense is essentially when you are turned away from your opponent while you shadow or mimic their movements. A lot of the times in 1v1s and 2v2s, the offensive player will have a lot of leverage, meaning that if you challenge, they will most likely identify this very quickly and be able to play the ball around you. In these situations where the offensive player has control, we want to shadow, which will help give us the best chance of saving a shot on our net and being able to successfully escape danger. In this lesson, we will learn how to identify when shadowing is appropriate and how to best execute a shadow defense. For this workout's warm-up, we will be in free play for 5 minutes. This workout is more on the game sense side than mechanics, so you can chill out for a bit here and you don't have to go super hard in the warm-up. As per the usual, for the 5-minute duration, focus on hitting the ball and following up your touches as fast as possible. For our first exercise of the workout, we will learn how to identify when to shadow. Here we will apply the snapshot method. If you have watched any of my previous videos here on GGO, this will sound familiar, and you guys can already see how this method has so many different applications in Rocket League. For this drill, play a 1v1 match. After the match, find 3 timestamps in the replay viewer where your opponent has possession of the ball and you are defending. Now you will watch an example of me identifying examples in my 1v1 game, and I want you to focus on the logic and justification I use when determining if I shadowed correctly. Alright guys, here we're going to be taking our first look at what applying the snapshot method looks like and how you use justification to determine what the optimal play is in any given situation. So we can see here I'm in a 1v1 game, and I get a touch off my back wall that immediately puts me in a poor position. 1, because I have no boost. 2, because it gives the offensive player a lot of leverage, which is Kairos here. And right here, you can see that it looks like Kairos is driving away, but in reality, he could cut into this ball at any point and play it over me into my net. And I know I have no boost, so immediately right off the bat here, I know that I'm not going to be able to challenge this ball and just go for it. I'm going to have to utilize a fake challenge or just shadow straight up if I want to have any chance of saving this ball. And we determine that because of the position of the ball and the position of the ball handler, Kairos here. And you can see that the best bet here is to just either fake challenge or shadow just because of the angle of attack he has. You can see I end up getting scored on, and this is for a very specific reason. If you notice right here, and this doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about directly, but it is good that you guys see this. So you can see that right here I was on 0 boost, so I need to get pads. I get 1, 2, and the reason I don't end up making it back to save this ball is because I get a little bit greedy, and if you see that boost on the right side, I try to grab that, and that's all the time that Kairos needs to capitalize on this attack. Alright guys, just one more example here of an example analysis just to make sure that we hit this point home and that you guys have enough examples to successfully do this drill on your own. So we're going to take a look here, and we see that I win the kickoff. Bit of a giveaway touch, and right here I immediately take note that Kairos is hitting the ball fast here, so he's going to try to push the ball down the field as quick as possible. And because of that, I know that I need to rotate back fast. I need to get boost as fast as possible. And you can see that that is true. Kairos is here already setting up an attack on my net. And, you know, I'm not going to be able to get to this ball, guys. Kairos is really close. He's already got momentum. You can see a supersonic trill coming out of his back wheels. So I know that my only hope here is either a fake challenge or, you know, just a shadow. And fake challenging really isn't feasible here, just because if he reads the fake challenge, he can just shoot on my net because it's undefended anyway. So you can see right here that I have to shadow. I have to be at the mercy of how good of a shot Kairos can put on net. And you can see that he does get a shot off, and I get a really good save. I don't know if this was actually going in. It looks like it might have been bar down out, but it counted as a save. So Yeah, and I thought anyway, it was just a really good example. I ended up getting scored on. But it's a really good example on using these little justifications to determine what you should do. And I want everyone to remember that whenever you're doing something in Rocket League, I want you to understand that there should be a justification and a reason why you are making the decisions that you are making. Watching my example will also give you guys a good idea of what proper shadowing looks like. Following this, apply the logic you have observed to your 3 timestamps and analyze if you think shadowing is correct in this situation. Now that you guys have worked on identifying when shadowing is appropriate, we now practice the actual mechanical side of shadowing. For the shots you save while shadowing, it will mostly be you facing backwards away from the ball. This can make saves very awkward if you haven't done this before, so we'll be in a training pack that will give us the opportunity to practice this. In this workout, we defined shadow defense, learned how to identify when it is an appropriate situation to utilize it, and we practiced the mechanical side of saving shots on net from a shadow position in a training pack. I want everyone to remember that shadow defense has its biggest application in 2v2s and 1v1s, where there is more of an emphasis on ball control, so don't worry too much yet about applying this in your 3v3 games because it is less optimal of a strategy there and can lead to you getting scored on a lot because of the fast pace of 3v3. That's going to do it for this one. I'm Coach Aero, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next video.